Hello, I'm here with Father Spiridon, who's going to talk about his latest book, The UFO Deception. Father, first of all, why did you write about UFOs?
It may seem a strange thing, a priest writing about UFOs, but I was prompted to do so by a number of things. First of all, there's a chapter in Father Seraphim Rose's book, Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future, talking about UFOs and the connection between other occult events. And I wanted to pursue a lot of the topics that he raised there, but also more personally, a member of my family, a number of members of the family actually, had a close encounter with a UFO back in the late 70s. And this was an event that, although it's been of interest to me in conversation, not something that we've really focused on or discussed. And I wanted to see how that tied in with what I was reading about, and the research that I was discovering really was raising all kinds of connections that I hadn't previously known about. And then thirdly, just a brief glimpse at what's going on the internet. There are so many sites, so many people becoming very interested in this phenomenon, rather than waning since the 70s when Father Seraphim was writing his book.
People have been going nuts for the alien since I was a little kid. We had the History Channel. They did the whole, South Park lampooned it, right, with their Thanksgiving special, where, the History Channel with their crazy people talking about how UFOs have been here since the beginning and made Stonehenge and made all these various sites in North America. The UFO craze has been going on for a long time.
It seems that the topic has gained more interest, and so I thought it would be important to just bring an Orthodox perspective on this whole subject.
So where does the deception of the title come in?
Well, as I researched the topic,
these cuts are terrible, by the way.
I found really two major deceptions taking place. The first is a human deception. There's lots of evidence that I provide in the book that shows that government agencies, military agencies, are perpetrating an enormous deception that's been going on for decades, since the mid-1940s. People's descriptions of the phenomenon, their encounters, their eyewitness accounts have been distorted, suppressed. People have been bullied, people have been silenced, people have been deliberately misled, and there's lots of evidence that I provide that this is taking place. But secondly, and more importantly, there is a spiritual deception taking place. The major error, I came to the conclusion, was we cannot lump all UFO phenomenon into one category. There are very many different things taking place. Some of it is military, some of it is secret agency work, but there is a spiritual dimension, and the deception that I'm most concerned about is certainly demonic.
So you mentioned as well quite a lot of famous names, Carl Sagan, Valer Young.
Well, I wouldn't say that this is the highest octane thing that I've ever covered, but I can at least give a pretty good breakdown here, at least my viewpoint on this. Aliens are, they've always been, it's always going to be. There's not little green men who are traveling through intergalactic, wormholes to get here. They're not traveling hundreds of billions of light years to get here either. What's been going on, at least according to all the documentation from the various governments of the world, is that they have been able to utilize various Hollywood studios because sci-fi is imaginative and it's very fun. They have capitalized on that in order to hide the fact that they are building tons and tons of secret aircraft all over the world. Various governments do this all the time, nonstop. And they're able to kind of hide that right out in plain sight. When they do these tests and people see the various aircraft that they field, they point to them and say, oh, that has to be from another world, blah, 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 blah. And of course, the government comes in and says, oh, he's just some crackpot, tinfoil hat wearing lunatic. That's really the entirety of the alien phenomenon. Now, I'm sure that there's tons of believers in the chat. I'm sure. Tons of people who really want there to be alien flying saucers flying around, but there aren't. There aren't any. It's all terrestrial. Always has been terrestrial. It's just a really good cover story. And there's so many documents at this point which have been released from the CIA and the NSA, no such agency, right, that go into depth in how various government agencies have perpetrated this. It's not even really a grand deception as much as it is just a great cover. It's just a fantastic cover. How would the existence of aliens disprove Christianity? Couldn't God have created them as well? Baby Christian here, go easy. I think that would lead to some serious and significant questions about Christ and the salvation of humanity. And if there's no Christ for the aliens, right, then that would entail a lot of meaning there that I think we would have to try to logically reconcile. Well, it's not just the vast distances which exist in space, but it's also just the fact that there's so many released documents about about this phenomenon. Just tons and tons. And so, yeah, like as people have been interested in this for a long, long time. But the funny part about it is like it there's no alien life here, guys. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. There just isn't any. None. Fermi's paradox is an interesting way to view this idea. The Fermi's paradox is stating essentially, hey, if there's a bunch of this intergalactic life, why can't we see any of it? There's plenty of hospitable or supposedly hospitable planets close to Earth. Where's all the Dyson spheres? Where's the global empire that we were promised in Star Trek? It's nowhere.
I like that this commenter on R spoke as if like from an alien's perspective. No, ... aliens are real, but they give a about you or your planet. And he's implying that they don't. He's like saying it like slang. They give a about your planet.
Fair.
That's funny.
So yeah, some are so good. Yeah, there's always
Well
like
done.
the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I've heard so many crackpot conspiracies about this. Could it be reconciled if aliens were non-intelligent, or would that also call into question Christ? I think that wouldn't be as problematic. You just say there's alien life like plants on other planets or something like that. I don't think that Christians would have anything to reconcile there. But if gray alien showed up one day with misshapen eyes and they were super duper smart and they're like, yeah, by the way, all these religions are total. We've been all over the cosmos. And if Jesus Christ died for your sins, why didn't he die for ours? I think we would have some reconciliation to do there. Andrew, the Bible warns against drinking, but doesn't condemn drinking in general. Where do you draw the line? Dude, you need to read Orthodox canons on drunkenness and what that entails. It's not the idea that you got drunk with your friend one time or even multiple times. Oh, Dad, I haven't seen you in 2 years. Let's have a drink. Oh, you had 4 beers. That's 1 beer too many. You're going to hell for that one. Hey, Andrew, love your videos. I know you swear, but would you consider it perverse? Oh, my God, these people. Are you serious? Perverse referred to in the Bible. Also, please come to Canada and speak. Love to see you live. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go to Canada. I'd never live that down. What is it with people and this reconciliation that they have? They really get upset by this. You mix up social taboos with biblical commands, and you guys got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. So the line is 4 beers, says it's exactly, and that's the exact line. One more than that, that's hell for you. Alter Void says, Andrew, you're wrong. We don't need any evidence. We just need a good story. True. That is a good point. Mighty Maximus says, if aliens aren't real, then how do you explain Whoopi Goldberg? It's just a really guy. What do you want? If aliens aren't real, why are libs so out of this world insane? Explain that. Yeah, that is a mystery.